Welcome to the interesting documentary YouTube channel. Today, we'll embark on a journey through time, visiting one of the most impressive and mysterious places in Lithuania, Suretsia's Hillforts, also known as Palemonas Hill. It's not just a beautiful spot, but a living witness to thousands of years of Lithuanian history. So, get comfortable, because we're about to unravel its secrets. Suretsia's Hillfort, towering its strategically important location on the right bank of the Nemunas River at the confluence of the Dubysa and Nemunas, has long captivated people's attention. Its status among Lithuanian hillforts is exceptional. Archaeological research shows that it was one of the most important defensive and administrative centers in the entire lower Nemunas region. But why this particular place? It's clear that such a geographical position was extremely favorable for defense and trade. One of Lithuania's most famous legends, the legend of Palemonas, is inextricably linked to Suretsia's Hillfort. According to it, Palemonas, a Roman prince fleeing persecution from Emperor Nero, arrived in Lithuania and founded the Palemonid dynasty, from which later Lithuanian Grand Dukes originated. Although this is more of a myth than a historical fact, the connection of the Palemonas legend to this hillfort gives it more charm and grandeur. The hillfort itself is often called Palemonas Hill. This shows how deeply rooted this legend is in our consciousness. The hillfort was inhabited very early on. Archaeological excavations have revealed that people lived here as early as the 2nd millennium BC, at the end of the Late Bronze Age. This means that for several millennia, people built their homes, tilled the land, and defended themselves from enemies here. However, the Suretsia's Hillfort gained its greatest importance in the early and late Middle Ages, specifically from the 5th to the 15th centuries. This was the period when the Nemunas riverbanks became an arena of constant battles. The Nemunas served as a natural border between Lithuania and the Teutonic Order. The hillfort was part of a chain of the most important Lithuanian defense fortifications that guarded the Nemunas route. Together with other hillforts, it formed the unified defense system, allowing for the observation and repulsion of Teutonic Order attacks. One of the most interesting facts is that the Suretsia's Hillfort, or the site of what was then Pietsvi Castle, was first mentioned in written sources in 1293. This occurred in the Chronicles of the Teutonic Order. This indicates that the hillfort was already a known and important point at that time, but 1293 was just the beginning of a long and fierce history of conflict. Throughout the entire 14th century, Pietsvi Castle was one of the primary targets of the Teutonic Order. The Crusaders launched constant campaigns aiming to capture and destroy the strategic stronghold. More than one large and bloody battle took place here, inscribing the hillfort into the history of Lithuania's struggles for freedom. Pietsvi is mentioned in many Teutonic documents and chronicles, especially in Peter von Duisburg's Chronicles of the Land of Prussia, which describes the wars with the Lithuanians. These records allow us to imagine how important this castle was and how intense the battles were. Pietsvi Castle became a real nightmare for the Teutonic Knights, its garrison composed of brave Lithuanian and Samogitian warriors, constantly attacked Teutonic ships and land forces, disrupting their logistics and hindering their expeditions. Due to its unyielding spirit and strategic significance, Pietsvi was one of Lithuania's most important defense castles. In the Teutonic Chronicles, Pietsvi is mentioned with undisguised hatred. They constantly strived to capture and destroy this fortress, which became the cause of their perpetual headache. Their goal was to cut off trade routes, weaken Lithuania's defenses, and ultimately impose Christianity by force. Despite a courageous defense, in 1363, during the famous Great Teutonic Campaign that also saw the destruction of Kaunas Castle, Pietsvi Castle was, unfortunately, burned down and never rebuilt. This was a significant blow to Lithuania's defense in the lower Nemunas region, marking the end of Pietsvi as a military fortress. Just over 500 meters from Palemonas Hill stood Dubysa Castle, also known as simply as Dubysa Castle, built by the Teutonic Knights. The castle was constructed in 1406 as an offensive centre from which Teutonic campaigns into Lithuanian lands and Samogitia were organised. According to the castle was via a bridge, and nearby stood a mill with a chapel inside the castle itself. Its arsenal included numerous arrows and gunpowder artillery shells. In 1409, when the Samogitian uprising ignited, the knights themselves burned the castle and withdrew. These two castles never fought each other because they existed in different time periods. Although Pietrzwi Castle is no more, the Hillfort itself has survived and become a unique historical monument. Today, we can see a massive prominent hill with a plateau in its summit, believed to have been the castle courtyard. The Hillfort's slopes were steep and difficult to access, providing natural defense. Around the Hillfort, other archaeological remains can be seen, such as traces of the ancient settlement, indicating that people lived and worked there. Modern archaeological research continues to uncover new details about the history of this place, allowing us to better understand what life was like in ancient Lithuania. Today, Soreția's Hillfort is not only an important historical monument, but also a magnificent landscape feature. From its summit, breathtaking views of the confluence of the Nemunas and Dubysa rivers, as well as the surrounding fields and forests, unfold. It's a perfect place for a walk, to enjoy nature, and to feel the deep spirit of history. The Hillfort is maintained and cared for, with stairs and convenient access installed. Various events and historic reconstructions are held here annually, helping to revive the past of this place and to introduce the public to Lithuanian history. Soreția's Hillfort is much more than just a hill. It is a place where history, legends, and natural beauty intertwine. It is a living reminder of our ancestors' courage, perseverance, and struggle for freedom. A visit here allows one not only to admire the landscape, but to also feel how strongly this hill is connected to Lithuania's past. I hope you enjoyed this journey through the history of Soreția's Hillfort. If you haven't visited this place yet, I highly recommend you do. And if you have, share your impressions in the comments. What do you think about Soreția's Hillfort? Did you know about its long and complex history? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss our latest videos about Lithuanian history. And now, thank you for watching and see you in the next interesting documentary video.